This video is going to focus on the concept of how humans and animals can smell fear and hesitancy. Okay, so let's talk about it in the realm of when you are hesitant and it works to your advantage. This works in a lot of sales situations where you do not want to engage, you do not want to buy, and you do not want to support. And your mannerisms and your verbal language do show that. And this is where hesitancy works in our favor. But where hesitancy does not work in your favor is whenever you actually want to succeed at something. Okay? So say you are in a situation where you are going through a job interview or needing to make a really good impression, but that sense of fear or doubt or uncertainty is showing. And you know on some level that they can see it and sense it. So what ends up happening? Lack of trust. They sense lack of confidence in you, which generates disinterest on their part. So in effect, you have another type of disengagement that really is not working in your favor at all by this sense of hesitancy. And this is a really important point that I would like to make. I speak mostly on speaking fear. Why is that? Because fear, hesitancy, uncertainty, and doubt, indifference, boredom, any of these mannerisms in a high stakes situation where you know that you want to make an impression, hey, it doesn't have to be high stakes. It could be a date, okay? It could be a personal relationship. And anytime you are exhibiting this level of indifference, if you will, the other person is going to disengage from you. And that's going to be counterproductive for what your goals are. So it's really important to understand that this particular topic that I'm talking about, this is just one example of a skill. How do I overcome this concept of hesitancy, right? Well, it really depends on the situation, right? And it takes a little bit of discovery about why and how you are hesitant to begin with. The best thing I can do is give you a story, a case study of a client, high-level speaker, asked to speak at a global conference on Zoom. The conference was conducted in another continent, and this person has zero fear to speak, okay? Zero. However, this person has to make sure her messaging is on point. So that's what was driving the hesitancy. The cultural sensitivity of this particular situation was making her question, am I going to come across okay? And am I potentially going to offend somebody by using the language that we use here in the United States that can be a little bit more open and vulnerable and acceptable? Okay, language does not necessarily do that whenever you go to different cultures. So anyway, that's what she identified, that she could not be hesitant in front of this audience. This is a subject matter expert. She had her messaging on point. She just needed a few tweaks, really, in some phrasing. And then what did she do? She went out and succeeded. But she knew that any form of hesitancy was going to show in her body language and in her messaging, and she did not want to sabotage that situation. So, in summary, yes, you do want to be mindful of situations and very attuned to any sort of lagging on your part to show up in a confident way, especially in situations when you are trying to build trust in a relationship and a positive interaction outcome. And by doing that, if you sense any bit of hesitancy at all, it's important to discover where is that being generated from. And really, again, this is the basis of my training, is around getting yourself in a composed state so that your composure blossoms, that your messaging, your organization of your language. Okay, it's not just the verbal output. Of course, that's a huge part of speech coaching, but it is the entire communication experience. That is a skill. When you're in a comfortable situation, you don't necessarily consider your communication as a skill. You're just talking, you're communicating. But when you jump that next level, that advanced level where you are having to make a strong first impression or leave the audience with the understanding that, hey, this person knows what they're talking about. I can trust this person. I'm going to invest in them. It is an entire skill-based system that you have to really manage on a day-to-day basis, dependent on the job that you have. All right, thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.